Yo, what is up guys? It is your boy Onyx back again, and today in this video I'm going to be going over all of my competitive classes that I use in game battles, UMGs, 8s, team scrims, and all the competitive classes I use, not pub classes just because, that's pubs. But alright, so to start off with, this is the hardpoint class, and I named like the first four HP for hardpoint, but in reality I use them for every respawn. So this is the one I use definitely easily the most. It's the Bal with stock, foregrip, quick draw, lightweight, fast hands, toughness, blast suppressor, overclock, and 2 semtex. And I really like this class because, well, first of all, stock. I think I personally I just love it now. I used to not like it at the beginning of this game with the movement, but I've definitely grown onto it, and it's definitely something I feel like is needed for the Bal and assault rifles. Foregrip, just so with the new patch, it added more recoil, and it really helps keep your shots right, especially at distance. And quick draw, so when you're running on Detroit, or you're hopping in a hill and someone just comes out of nowhere, it really helps you get the drop on kids. And then obviously lightweight. I did lightweight over like overcharged because you don't really need extra overclock, and lightweight just helps you move around faster. I think it's more beneficial. Fast hands, you use overclock faster, and you throw your grenades faster, which is really helpful if you're trying to break a hill. Obviously, toughness and blast suppressor, you need those for all game modes. And then I have overclock, because I'm one of the main people that rotates. I'm not OBJ, so I'm usually not in hill, so I'm always one of the ones rotating, or I'm one that likes to pinch and try to get spawns. So that's why I use overclock. And then 2 semtex for respawn. Lately I've been using semtex, but you can also use stun grenades or EMPs. I'm gonna get to it in a minute when I get to the search and destroy classes, but search and destroy I use stuns more than anything, just so I can stun check bombs. Alright, so the second class, I use this a lot too, especially for capture the flag. I call this the crispy class. It really just helps your shots get on point with the red dot. And I use the none. It's just the little dot, and then stock and foregrip again, and all the same perks and abilities in the launcher. It just really helps me if I'm having bad shots. It helps my shots be good and lined up, and especially if I'm pulling the flag in CTF, I like to use this one because I don't have quick draw, but it just, if I have to get in like a crazy gunfight and I need a flag pull, this class usually helps me quite a lot, and it's really good at range 2 versus iron sights and quick draw. Alright, the third one is definitely one I rarely use. I'm probably going to change this class up, maybe make something else. Oops. And this class is basically the same thing as the crispy class, except instead of foregrip I have quick draw. Now this class could be really good for like Detroit hardpoint, or any map that is really close range for respawn. I just don't really use it too much. I either use crispy or the first class just because I don't know, I feel like foregrip is kind of like a big thing now with the new patch. So, but yeah, I mean, I do have this class. I do pull it out occasionally. It is good, but it really is something that it's probably my least used class. And the fourth hard point is the ASM1. I just actually started using this quite recently, earlier this week, like 3 or 4 days ago, excuse me. And this gun is a monster. If you guys don't use this gun, you need to use it. My biggest problem is like when you're aiming down and you move your right analog stick left and right, the iron sights like sway and they're like weird. I don't really know how to describe it. Let me see if I can go into firing range and actually show you guys. Except if I went with the right class. So you see, you can kind of see it. I don't play in that high of a sensitivity, but you can see how they just kind of like, I don't know, they move around a little. And when you're in gunfights and getting shot, it can be really crazy. And yeah, but I mean, that's just something at first I really didn't like, but I've gotten used to it. And I use foregrip, really helps the shots be crispy, and as the first bullets are really fast, so those are like the really most important bullets, so you can melt kids. And then I use advanced rifling. A lot of people like to use rapid fire over here, and I like that for like maybe Detroit. But personally, I think advanced rifling is more necessary just because the range it gives you, and because you don't really get that much range as it is with the ASM1, and the advanced rifling just really helps, really helpful, and you can still pick kids off pretty far with it. I really like it. And then quick draw, I chose quick draw over stock because when I run around a lot with this gun, I think it suits me better more than the Bal, even though I used to think the Bal was better for me. And there are a lot of gunfights where quick draw really helps you get first bullets on the kid, and with how fast the ASM1 shoots at the beginning, quick draw really helps you win gunfights. And you don't honestly you don't really need stock. I don't think many people run stock at all on some machine guns. I don't think they're necessary just with how quick you move. And then you have the standard perks and abilities and launchers again, and you could use EMPs or stun grenades, whatever. I've been sticking with Semtex lately, but personal preference. And then the lame class. I do not pull this class out unless the other team starts pulling lame stuff. This is, the same attachments on the ASM1. Instead of lightweight, I have overcharged, and then I have stim and cloak. And honestly, I don't pull this out ever unless the other team is really annoying, and if they're running stim, cloak, just stuff like that, that's just really annoying that, you just shouldn't use anyways. So this class is rarely used as well, but if I do have to pull it out, I'm probably really mad. Alright, on to S&D, Search and Destroy. This is one of the main classes I use right here. You got your standard bow with the stock, foregrip, and quick draw. And then the perks, I have lightweight and overcharge. And I took out fast hands because this not only lets me move faster, but it also gives me a lot more mute time, which is really beneficial. And then your standard perks, 3s, toughness, blast suppressor. And then I have a stun grenade so I can stun check bombs and just stuff like that. Stun across the map, nade spots, really helpful. And the second class, this is kind of like the crispy class. This is literally the exact same, except it is red dot, stock, and foregrip. And instead of having quick draw, I have red dot. And yeah, that's pretty simple. I pull that out, if my shots aren't being the greatest, or if it's of a more long range map and I'm not pinching as much. And then this is a really good class I use quite a lot. It is the bow with my standard 3 attachments. And then I have the Morse thermal. And for perks, I have lightweight, I don't have overcharge, I don't have fast hands, I have your standard perk 3s, and I have mute. Now granted, you don't get as much mute time, but when I use this class, I'm usually sitting in the back, and I'm not rushing out as much, so I don't really need as much mute, because I'm not moving around the map as much as other people. And this class is very good. Some people prefer the variable zoom scope, and some people prefer the Atlas. Personally, I like the Morse. It's easier to use. You can no scope if you have to, which isn't really recommended, and the thermal is a lot better than anything. Honestly, you could just sit somewhere and literally just aim down, and you could just wait until you see like the orange person. And honestly, barely anyone uses cold-blooded too, so it's highly unlikely to get counted by thermal. And yeah, that's a good class I use quite a lot on terrace. On recovery, that's a big class I use. Anywhere I can just snipe and pick kids off. And on Detroit, I use it too on defense. It's very good. Alright, so the next class, this is the rushing battle class. I substituted grip, foregrip, not quick draw grip. I have stock and quick draw, and I have lightweight and overcharge just so I can run faster, and I have more of my abilities. I have fast hand so I can use my abilities faster, and I have toughness, blast suppressor, and then overclock and mute. So what I like to do, especially on Detroit, if I'm feeling risky, if I'm going to go for a 50-50, maybe just trade, I'll put on overclock and mute, and I'll rush hospital or post, whatever you call it, or I'll just, rush down low on A on terrace, just something really fast. And this class is exactly similar. Well, it's really close. I don't have overcharged on this class, even though I have it on the bow class, because the ASM1, it's an SMG, you run a lot faster with it already, you're more lightweight. So I decided to keep my regular 3 attachments, foregrip, advanced rifling, and quick draw instead. I think it's more beneficial than having, more overclock and mute. Although obviously it is good to have more, I think this class works better without overcharge, because then you get the good accuracy with foregrip, you get advanced rifling, you get more range, which is very helpful, and you get quick draw, because when I use this class, I like to run around a lot, I like to push really fast, and the quick draw really helps me win gunfights. So these are my 10 competitive classes. These are really similar to a lot of the pros use, like Optic Scumpy. These are pretty similar. Obviously I have some different ones. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to follow on Twitch. I'll be streaming there a lot, especially after I'm done with finals at school. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. I got a lot of planned videos, and I will see you guys later. Peace.